Hi everyone. So we're going to go over The F Word by Feruzi Dumas. I know the title makes you say, what is that about? That's a little confusing. But it is not what you think, I promise you that. So if you've read it, and hopefully you have, and you're posting answers to some of the discussion questions, I just wanted to go over a few other things too. So one line in particular that I have in my book open is, all of us immigrants knew that moving to America would be fraught with challenges, but none of us thought that our names would be such an obstacle. That's really what this is about. That's her thesis, right? It's her experience while assimilating to a new culture. She's of Iranian descent. She comes from there, but assimilating into America and English. And her name becomes a symbol of her identity, right, throughout the essay. That's really what this whole essay is about, this personal essay. And there are some positives and there are some negatives. And I like the way she kind of mixes it up. So what would you say her tone is? Think about it for a moment. Is she serious? Is it very formal? Is it angry? Is it pleasant? Is it humorous? Is it a mixture? I don't know. There's a lot of different emotions and tones we can detect. But I think really for the most part, her tone is both reflective, right, and humorous. Because she makes a lot of humorous comments, right? At the very beginning when she talks about her cousin, and how Farbode means greatness, but in America they called him Farthead, and all these other names like that. I mean, it is serious, the issue itself, but she does it in a humorous way, right? And she does that throughout. She talks about analogies, and she uses a lot of figurative language, right? So I want you to think about which ones she uses at the beginning and then which ones she uses later on. And she kind of goes back to one of them. So if you're thinking the spice cabinet, you are correct, right? She's talking about how Americans need more spices in their spice cabinet, meaning they should be able to say more words with more pronunciations without laughing and thinking that they're silly. Then later on, we see figurative language again. We see her comparing herself with a simile to a character, an evil character with an evil twin in a soap opera, right? Balancing two different lives and kind of not knowing which one she really is. Then we see her later on as well. If I turn, let's see, where are we? She talks about untangling the knot. She says her life became one big knot, right? Which is a metaphor. So she says she has to untangle it once and for all, and that's when she goes back and forth with what she wants to be called, right? So just to be clear, right, it starts out, she talks about her name. Then when she's in grammar school, I think it was around 5th and 6th grade, she starts feeling frustrated that a lot of kids were making fun of her. She changes her name to Julie, right? Then coincidentally, she meets a friend whose name is Julie, which makes her, I guess, feel a little silly, but at the same time, it's kind of funny and ironic at the same time, right? But she makes this friend. She experiences that positive thing, right? She learns new language, new customs. It leads to her growth, a deeper understanding of other cultures. She says it deepens her spice cabinet. It lets her know that there's more out there than just her culture, which is a good thing, and she appreciates it. On the negative, she does face a lot of embarrassment, and she does, unfortunately, get made fun of in school to some degree. And later on, as an adult, she says it's harder to get a job until she changes her name back again, right? So she starts out as Ferozi, right? 5th and 6th grade, she changes it to Julie, right? Then eventually she goes back to Ferozi, right? When she's in college, she seems to be okay there. She says it was an opportunity for growth, acceptance. She met a lot of people of other cultures. But then getting a job, she said she changed her resume back to Julie, hoping that she would sound more qualified and American. And then she says that later on, she goes back to Ferozi, right? Then later at the end, she goes back to Julie, and then she goes back to Ferozi. So if you got confused, that's fine. We're all confused. But basically, her point in all this back and forth is that she's not sure who she is, right? Am I who I was before? Am I who I am now? Am I the person that my family thinks I am? Am I the person that my friends in college and my American friends think I am? Who am I? Right? And then she starts to think, maybe I can be all of those things. Maybe I can be all of them. Maybe there's nothing wrong with being both. I don't have to pick. Right? So, and then when she gets older, and I think a little more perspective she has, right? She has her own child. She goes back to her original name. And I think she does that because she wants her daughter to see that, it's okay. We should accept who we are. And she wants to pass that down to her daughter. And I think also she's not out there anymore, right, trying to get a job, trying to make friends. She's more settled, and I think she's more comfortable in her own skin. So that's something we need to really think about. So look at all the figurative language. Look at the way she writes. Look at the creativity she uses. Because I thought this essay was really well written, and I think it jumps out of the page at you. It's vivid, it's descriptive, it's funny, it's sad, it's a lot of things, right? So pay attention. What tools does she use? How does she accomplish that? And how can we emulate that as writers and get our writing to that level too? Okay? So that's all for today. And please post the discussion questions on the board from here. And I will see you later on. Take care.